we will now create the board overview. So we're going to create these 3 tables here. Inside of this we have a forum category for each, where we see the forum name, a description, number of topics, number of posts, and the last post with the post name, author name, and date. And we can click on the post name to go to the post page. Alright, so in here we scroll down, and right after our breadcrumb we'll create a new context for our grid. So what I forgot to show you was that we have this 2-column grid here. Initially they will be stacked on top of each other, but then for desktop size this will turn into a 2-column grid. This will have 3/4 size, this will have 1/4 size. So first we need to establish that context using a div tag with the class columns, and the modifier class is desktop, so the change won't happen before the desktop size. The default is tablet size. And then we'll create this first column, the left one, using a div tag with the class column, and the modifier class is 3/4 desktop. So now it will take up the full width initially, and then 3/4 of the width for desktop devices and larger. Now let's first create an H2 heading with the class title. Inside of this we'll add an anchor tag with the link leading to the forums overview.html page, which we'll create later. We'll give the anchor tag the text forum category. Close the anchor tag and close the heading element. Now we'll create our table, and if we go back we can see that we need to make the table be striped, so the background color changes for every second row. We need it to have borders, and we need it to be full width. So we add the classes table for the default table style, and then the modifier classes is striped, is bordered, and is full width. Then we'll create our table head using the thead tag, and then we'll create a table row using the tr tag, and then a table heading using the th tag, and the scope attribute with the value col. So this heading, this table head, is for the column beneath it and not the row to the side of it. We'll give it the class forum col. This will be used later to customize the width of this column, and then we give it the text forum, and we close the table heading again. Then we create a new one again with the scope col, this time without any class, and with the text topics, close the heading tag. Then one more of these with the text posts, and a final one. We'll give this the class last post col, so we can set the width on that column as well. Give it the text last post. Please remember or know that these two classes is customized classes, so these are made up by me, and later we'll add the necessary CSS. So this is not part of Bulma. Alright, after our thead we'll create our tbody, our table body, using this tbody tag. Then we'll create our first row, and then we'll create our first cell using the td tag, and we want to use the h3 heading element and give it the class title and to set the size we have the modifier class is 5, and to remove the margin top of bottom and bottom we use modifier class is margin less. Then we have an anchor tag with the href attribute with the value topics overview.html, a page we'll create later in this project, and we give it the class is uppercase to turn the text into uppercase. We'll give it the name or the text forum name. Close our anchor tag again and close our h3 heading tag again. Then we'll create a paragraph, and I'll just paste in some random text here like so. And after this table cell we'll create one more, and we'll add the number inside of a div tag. We'll create one more, also add a number inside of a div tag. You won't necessarily need to use a div tag inside of this, but if you want to have further control later on by starting this, it can be useful to add it in the beginning like we are doing now. And our final table cell will have the h4 heading element with the class title. The modifier class is 6 to set the font size. To turn it into bold, we have the modifier class has text weight bold, and to remove the margin we have the modifier class is margin less. Then we have the anchor tag, the href attribute with the value post.html, also a page that we're going to create later, and we'll give it the text post name, and close our anchor tag and close our h4 heading element. Then we will add a div tag and add the text by, and then a new anchor tag, and inside of this put the text author name. We'll close our anchor tag and close the div tag. We'll add one more div tag with the date like so, and close our div tag. Notice right now that we have two div elements. This will work as a separator, so these will be two blocks on each their own line. So up here we only had one div where it doesn't really make a difference right now, but here using these two div tags we can make this content appear below the other one. So sometimes empty divs can be necessary and useful. Alright, now let's just copy this table row. We'll just check. So we need 5 of these, so we'll paste it in 4 more times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's save, go back and take a look, refresh. Here we see our form. We can see that the sizes is not correct yet, so we'll go ahead and do that now. In the top of our page we'll add the style tag with the type attribute with the value text/CSS. Then inside of this we can add our CSS rules. So we'll target the form call class that we created, give it a min width of 16 ems, and we'll target the last post call that we created and give it the min width of 12 ems. Let's save this and go back and take a look. Now it looks better. If we resize the window, we can see that this is not really responsive. We can scroll inside it. On our finish page over here, if we resize the browser window, we can see that the user can scroll it. This is because I applied some custom CSS to achieve this as well, inspired by a class from Bootstrap. So we'll go back here, then we'll wrap our whole table in a div tag with the class table responsive. We'll just add the closing div tag here. So right now this does nothing because it's not part of Bulma. This is a class borrowed from Bootstrap. So the CSS rules necessary for this will be display block width 100% overflow X auto. Then to support more browsers, we'll also add these two rules: WebKit overflow scrolling with the value touch, and MS overflow style with the value MS auto hiding scroll bar. So these two are browser specific prefixes, and I won't go into more detail how these works. You could Google it if you want to find out. But let's see now what these CSS have done for us. When we resize the browser window, now the user can scroll inside it. Great. Now we only need to copy this 2 times, so we have these total of 3 board overviews. So back in our code here, we'll select the H2 heading element, scroll down, and select the div tag right after our table. So we'll copy all this, paste one more in, and another one more in. So let's save this, go back again, and refresh. Now we see that we have a form category, and if we compare it to the finish page, we can see that it looks exactly the same.